busted my M36, GF, F34 of 7 years, sexting with a colleague. After 7 years of dating, my girlfriend and I have had our share of highs and lows in our relationship. We spoke about the lack of chemistry in our romantic relationships, which was a constant subject. We were able to work things out via communication, and we were both really forthright about it. At least, that's what I've been thinking up until this point in time. Because I had the idea of aiding her while she was in the shower, I started cleaning the office where she was now working. Although her phone was also there, I was pulled to it while cleaning because of a message that was quite explicit in nature. My inquisitiveness got the better of me, and I decided to examine her phone. I'm aware that it's wrong, but after reading the paragraph, my reasoning flew out the window, and I double-checked everything. It soon became apparent that she had been spending a significant amount of time sexting with her colleague at the time. I spoke to her while she was still in the shower, and she was really taken away. As soon as I told her what I had discovered, she came clean and stated that she had done everything. She informed me that she was unable to bring it up again in order to discuss that spark with me, and that she was searching for a quick way out. The woman said that she was looking for excitement as well as confidence regarding her physical attractiveness. In actuality, though, nothing of the kind took place at all. Strange thing is it strange? That I'm not even outraged over the text I found is this strange. Everyone who works for a white, in my opinion, ultimately comes across someone who knows how to push the right button. This does not make anything right, but I can see where she is coming from a distance. When you are dissatisfied in a relationship, it is possible that someone may emerge and make it look as if everything is well on the other side of the table. But it's the lack of faith in myself that's really getting to me. Having had an emotionally challenging separation, I always tell my present and previous partners, if you ever find yourself thinking about someone else or doing something different, please let me know and we can solve it. It's not a yes or no right away, but we can speak about it, she says. Despite the fact that she was aware of this, she went behind my back. My doubts about what she's telling me are becoming stronger. Is it true that it has been going on for nearly 2 weeks, as she claims it has? According to accounts, the only real-life occurrence was an embrace at work, which was a nice touch. I told her that I wanted to read all of the text before I could ever contemplate trusting her again. She agreed, and I was relieved. Despite the fact that it would be dreadful, I reasoned that it was the only way to demonstrate that what she was telling me was correct. 2 weeks and nothing happened. However, she later informs me that she deleted the communications after I found them. In the end, I convinced her that it wasn't a problem since I could get it from the backup, but I did need the information. I thus examined her phone upon her return and noticed that the backup had been turned off, despite the fact that WhatsApp has this feature on as a default. She has now left the house and returned to her parents' home, leaving me alone in the house. I'll go to my appointment tomorrow, and we'll talk the following day. Despite the fact that I'm already assured that I will put an end to the situation, she continues to blame everything on herself, her self-image, her hectic work schedule, her lack of health, as if she is a victim. I told her just before she left that I was having none of it, and that I was the only one who was being victimized at the time. In addition, I directed her to inform the other guy that he had 6 weeks to notify his wife and 3 children, or else I would do it for him myself. We are fortunate in that we do not have any children on our side. The bad news is that I will have to try to find a new home as soon as possible under the current market conditions. But first, I'm going to take some time to settle my emotions and thoughts before heading to the conversation on Sunday. So for the time being, I believe FML will have more success the next time around. Thank you for taking the time to read this. Story 2. Should I tell him that his girlfriend cheated emotionally? To give you a little background, Sarah, GF, and Elliot, BF, were previously together before I met Sarah last year. As their buddy, I was there to support Sarah, and feelings began to build on my end as well. But I didn't want to interfere since she had already been linked up with someone else. However, over time, since I was always there for her, her feelings for me increased as well. She started requesting my presence and telling me repeatedly that she loves me and that she was planning to end her relationship with Elliot shortly, despite the fact that I could see she adored him. We, Sarah and I, would run into one another rather often, which was okay at first since we didn't do anything to offend each other. However, we would often spend the night at each other's homes, and each time she would either pretend to Elliot that she was alone or disable her GPS so that he couldn't follow her down to my house. It is unclear if our relationship constituted physical adultery since we never had contact, but it was clear that she was cheating on me emotionally. We did a few things, such as make out and give each other love bites, and we came close to having intercourse on a couple of occasions. She initiated but then stopped herself, saying that she was taken. She refused to confess and just said that since we didn't have, our actions were not deemed adultery. I confronted her about our activities and inquired as to whether or not they were constituted infidelity. However, putting myself in Elliot's shoes, it seems to be cheating. I realized I was making a mistake as well. I should have ended things when things grew too heated, but I was so in love with her, and she kept promising me that she was going to split up with Elliot and be with me when she got over him, that I continued to believe it was appropriate. When things improved and became less toxic in their relationship, this happened for around 5 months, she decided she wanted to try again with Elliot, telling me that although she cherished Elliot and wanted to try again with him, she also cherished me. This time, we decided that we would continue to be friends, but that we would forego the physical element of our relationship. This was okay with me since I was having doubts about my judgment on the physical component. I vowed to move on from her, but she kept on telling me that she still loved me and that nothing had changed except for the fact that we were no longer physically together or spent the night together. They were able to resolve their differences, and I anticipated her to come clean to Elliot since they were going to start over and try again. But she didn't, and he still believes we are best friends. But if I were to settle things with my partner, I would lay out everything that I did wrong, and I would like it if they did as well. Depending on the seriousness of the situation, we may forgive each other and go on, but at least everything would be known to both of us. In the end, I decided not to interfere because I didn't want to jeopardize other people's relationships, and I also decided that I didn't want to be with her since the same thing may happen to me in the future. We were still friends even after everything seemed to have come to an end, so we planned to meet up after a lengthy period of time and have a few drinks at her place and then spend the night there. This time, she could tell Elliot about my visit, which I thought was a major improvement over the previous time. She got a little physical with me just before bedtime, kissed me, etc. And I just stood there frozen because I didn't know what to do. She went to sleep as soon as she realized what she was doing was wrong. The following morning, I discovered that Elliot had been aware of my impending arrival, but that she had deceived him and told him that I had gone home for the night. This happened just a short time ago. Every decision I've made has left me feeling uncertain, and I'm not sure whether or not I should tell Elliot about it. I'm perplexed since their relationship seems to be going swimmingly at the moment. However, I don't want to jeopardize their friendship by expressing my sympathy for the guy. Assuming he doesn't find out, it won't be for her to break up with him and start dating me, since I know she has a lot of red flags, but it will absolutely help me get over her faster because we may quit contact. Is it appropriate for me to notify him?